Well, Florida State falls 22-20 to Wake Forest in a ugly game. It's raining right now. It was raining harder during the second half of the game. Florida State had, early on, it looked like Florida State might get blown out. Wake Forest was going up and down the field. They fought back into it, actually took the lead, had the lead in the fourth quarter, and then let Wake Forest go right down the field and then could never respond. Big picture, Florida State falls to 3-4 on the season, 2-3, and it's a really big blow to Florida State's bowl hopes. I mean, I think that's the bowl hopes and really hopes for salvaging something from this season. After such a ugly loss last week at Clemson, everybody wondered how they would bounce back. They bounced back and played competitive, but it's another loss and another disappointing Saturday night for Florida State football.
Yeah, there's been a lot of those the last 3 years. A lot of disappointments. This is up near the top of the list again. You had a chance to win against a pretty good team, I guess. Good offense anyway. You held the conference's best offense to one touchdown, and you still found a way to lose against a backup quarterback when you outgained them. Like, it's just, you find ways to lose. That's what bad teams do. That's what bad programs do. And that's what this program is. You know, I was thinking about the Kansas-Texas game. There was no way Kansas was going to win that game. They just don't win those games. Is Florida State that program right now where if they're in a close game against a good team, they're not going to win it? You know they're not going to win it. And that's kind of where I am after this. I mean, how do you fumble? I mean, I know there's 40 seconds left. How do you inexplicably just have the ball fall out of your hands? How do you even try to attempt a 50-yard field goal with a kid that hasn't made a field goal in a game in, I don't know, 2 years?
A meaningful field goal.
I mean, it's hard to imagine. And you iced them and called a timeout because the play clock was running down because you didn't want to have to kick a 55-yarder. So all of it is just, it's just where I don't know. Yeah, they can beat Syracuse, and yeah, they can beat Miami, and I guess that would be nice. And you know, this was basically a pick'em game. But one of these times, you're allowed to win a pick'em game. You're allowed to win a close game on the road. What are you now, 1-7 with Willie Taggart on the road in close games? And more importantly, he is what now, 8-11 as your head coach with 6 wins over Power 5 teams. So, okay.
Yeah, and I think it's just hard to evaluate this team right now because a lot of the guys that played well, like Cam Akers, rushed for over 150 yards, had 2 touchdowns. He was really your whole offense in the first half and into the second half. But he also has just a crucial fumble where you have an opportunity to go up by 2 scores. He puts the ball on the ground, something similar in a game earlier this season at Virginia where they had a chance to maybe Boise against Boise earlier this season when they had a chance to maybe secure a win that they let slip away. So that's the defense, same thing. The defense, they did a really good job in the red zone. Wake Forest had the ball inside the 10-yard line like all night. They held them to 4 or 5 field goals. But why were they letting them go up and down the field to get in the red zone? So it's like anything that you wanted to say positive, there were equal negatives for really everybody on the team.
Yeah, and I don't blame the defense at all. We know what this defense is. It's not very good, and it was facing an offense that's given a lot of teams fits, and you held them to 20. You held them to 1 touchdown. But you had, what did you have, 1 touchdown in the second half out of 8 drives? I mean, that's not good. And I asked Willie after the game about his quarterback situation. He pretended that, I shouldn't say pretended. He might have legitimately thought that Blackman did well. I don't see it. I just don't see it. And I certainly don't think Hornibrook is a Heisman candidate. But I don't know what you have to see from this kid to keep running him out there and not give the other guy a chance. I don't get it after this many games.
And if you look at the statistics, James was 27-43, 280 yards, a couple touchdowns. So you feel like, well, those are solid numbers, but it's so many plays that are left on the field. He had a play early in the first half where Keith Gavin, there's nobody on that side of the field. Keith Gavin's waving to get his attention. Hey, there's nobody covering me. But James just looks away, he runs the play, and they get stopped. Just
on
things
fourth down.
On the fourth down play. Missed some crucial throws that, and opportunities. And at the end of the game, you get the ball back with 35 seconds, and he
I think a bit. And again, I don't want to take shots at this kid, but you have a 3rd and 8 with a lead late in the game in the fourth quarter, and you scramble and come up 2 feet short. You dive 2 feet short. You can't do that. You just can't do that and win games against decent teams. You have to figure out a way to get that first down, and he didn't. He came up a half-yard short. This isn't all on James Blackman. There were plenty of bizarre play calls anyway. The Trayshawn Harrison apparently is just a negative yardage machine. You had a nice drive going. You had 2nd and 3 with a lead, and then you end up throwing a 5-yard loss or a 6-yard loss. DJ Matthews won't catch a punt. He turns 47-yard punts into 60-yard punts. So you have to start at your own 15-yard line. There's a lot of problems.
Yeah, they also had to call timeouts before punts, before field goals.
Because they had too many guys on the field. Yeah, and we asked Willie. He said that he thought about going for it. I guess that was the holdup for the timeout before the fourth down. But I think what Florida State fans are they're already there. We hear a lot about turnovers and a lot about execution, and how the players have to learn not to turn the ball over and execute late. Well, you also need a head coach that doesn't blow timeouts and doesn't kind of, I don't want to say melt down, but doesn't make so many weird decisions and bizarre decisions late in games. I knew Ricky Aguayo wasn't going to make that kick.
I mean, it's a lot to ask. A 50-yard field goal in the rain.
Look at this stuff, folks.
It's raining now.
What is going on?
I think it was raining harder at that time, and yeah, no, I agree with you. It felt like a move of desperation.
And even if you make it, there's 2 minutes left. You're up by 2. You're up by 1 point.
And they've got a great They've got a great kicker, so they just have to get in decent range, and they're going to kick a field goal.
But I think when you look forward, man, what is the hope? Okay, say you win 3 of the next 5. You're not beating Florida. So say you win 3 of the next 5, 4 of the next 5 even, to finish with 7 wins. Well, all your best players are gone. Cam Akers isn't playing in that bowl game. Marvin Wilson's probably not playing in that bowl game. We don't know if Terry will play. By the way, Terry had a nice catch. He also dropped 2 critical passes. Like, even your good players are making mistakes. So where's the hope as you move on for the rest of this season and into next season? Who are the good players that are going to be left when your best players leave next year? And then also, I was going to ask you, what do you do at quarterback?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't have gone with Blackman the whole night tonight, but it sounds like, as you said, Willie was emphatic that he thought he played well, almost dismissed the idea that there would be a competition going forward. So I think James Blackman's the guy. Hey, at least they're going with somebody, and maybe that'll give James some confidence. But at the end of the day, you lose again. As you said, even if you win, you have to win 4 of your last 5 games just to have a 7-6 season. That's just to be a 7-5 season. And, again, it doesn't show any growth, especially when you talk about a game like tonight where Wake Forest played with their backup quarterback, and they didn't even play well.
No.
If it was a situation where Wake Forest just played great and Florida State just came up short, that would be one thing. This was a bad football game by
you
2
forced
pretty
5
bad football
punts in a row at one point. Your defense forced 5 punts in a row at one point. You didn't do anything on offense to take advantage. Because you can't make it all. None of it ever matches. Defense plays well, the offense doesn't. Vice versa. It never really matches with this program right now.
And in case you're wondering, the FSU fans did not take over to Snuggie Hill.
So
2021,
just a disaster of a game.
We're going to try that again. We're going to turn off the camera before it gets ruined in the rainstorm. Anyway, for Corey Clark and Ira and Austin the intern, we're signing off from beautiful Winston-Salem, North Carolina.